Breaking! Pi Network holders are mass selling and Pi coin just hit $0.469, only 14.8% away from its all-time low. If you're watching this, you're probably one of the thousands of Pi miners feeling sick to your stomach right now. The Chaikin money flow indicator just crashed to a monthly low, smart money is fleeing, and the technical charts are screaming danger. But here's what nobody else is telling you about what's really happening behind the scenes and why this could get much worse before it gets better. Quick, before we dive into this critical breakdown, make sure you're following my Telegram and Facebook pages right now. Links are in the description. That's where I'm dropping the real-time updates and exclusive insights you won't get anywhere else. You know what? While other Pi influencers are still pushing false hope, I'm giving you the raw truth about where Pi Network is actually headed, and trust me, you need to hear this. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Pi is sitting at $0.469 right now, and I'm not going to lie to you. It hurts to see. But here's what's really going on behind the scenes that most people don't understand. There's this thing called the Chaikin money flow, and basically it's showing us that people are pulling their money out of Pi faster than I can say mass exodus. The indicator just hit a monthly low, which means the smart money, the people who really know what they're doing, they're already heading for the door. You know what breaks my heart? Seeing long-term miners, people who've been with Pi since the beginning, finally throwing in the towel. These aren't weak hands we're talking about, these are the believers. The ones who defended Pi in every Facebook group and Discord chat. When those people start selling, that's when you know we're in serious trouble. The technical stuff is telling us that Pi has basically given up trying to follow Bitcoin's momentum, and in crypto, that's like a death sentence. Here's the scary part that keeps me up at night. Pi is only 14.8% away from its all-time low of 40 cents. That support level, at 45 cents? It's hanging on by a thread. I've been watching the charts, and every time Pi tries to bounce back, it gets smacked down harder than before. You know what that tells me? The market has lost faith, and once that happens, it's like trying to push water uphill. But listen, I need to be straight with you about something. I've been in this space long enough to know that when a community starts losing hope, and let's be honest, that's exactly what's happening right now. It creates this downward spiral that's really hard to break. People stop mining, stop talking about Pi, stop bringing in new users, the Google searches are down, the social media buzz is dying, and that's not a good sign for any project. Now, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom here, but the data doesn't lie. The relative strength index is showing us that Pi is in bearish territory, and there's no clear sign of when that might change. You know what's really frustrating? While Bitcoin is doing its thing and showing strength, Pi is just sitting there like it's in a completely different universe. That disconnection is something that should worry every single Pi holder. Here's what I think is going to happen, and I really hope I'm wrong about this. If Pi breaks below that 45-cent support, and honestly, it's looking more likely every day, we could see it crash right through the all-time low and keep going down. I've seen this pattern before with other projects, and it's not pretty. You know what makes it worse? Once a coin hits new lows, it takes forever to recover if it ever does, but hey, I'm not here to just scare you. There's still a chance, a small one, but still a chance. That Pi could surprise us all. If it somehow manages to break above $0.493, we might see it climb to $0.518 or higher. You know what it would take though? Something big, like really big. Maybe a major exchange listing or some breakthrough that changes everything. But right now, I'm not seeing any catalysts on the horizon. Look, I get it. You've invested time, energy, maybe even money into this project. You believed in the vision, you brought your friends and family in, and now you're watching it all fall apart. You know what? That's exactly how I felt when I first saw these numbers. But here's the thing. We can't let our emotions make our decisions for us. Whether you decide to hold, sell, or buy more, it needs to be based on facts, not feelings. The reality is that Pi Network is going through its toughest period yet. What was once seen as a bold, community-powered revolution in crypto now feels uncertain and shaky. The price has taken a beating, hovering dangerously close to its all-time low, and the technical indicators aren't offering much hope either. Momentum is slipping, support levels are being tested, and confidence is fading fast. For a project that built its brand on patience, trust, and long-term vision, this moment feels like a breaking point. What's even harder to watch is how the community is reacting. This is the same group that stayed loyal during the long pre-mainnet phase. that believed in mining from their phones, and that held on through delay after delay. But now, you can clearly see the doubt creeping in across the entire Pi community. Social media is filled with anxious posts from longtime pioneers who are beginning to question whether all their effort, time, and belief in the project was worth it. These are people who once proudly defended Pi, encouraged others to join, and stayed loyal through years of mining and waiting. Now, that strong optimism that used to fuel the community is being overshadowed by growing frustration, uncertainty, and even regret. The conversations within the Pi community are shifting in a noticeable and painful way. From once hopeful talks about future value, ecosystem growth, and real-world utility, to harder, more emotional questions about whether this journey has truly led anywhere meaningful. It's no longer just about the price dipping or charts looking bad. It's about something deeper: trust, purpose, and the unsettling fear that the vision so many believed in might be slipping through their fingers. You see it in the tone of posts, the hesitations in comments, and the silence of once vocal supporters. And you know what I find most heartbreaking? It's reading those raw, honest messages from pioneers who say they feel like they've wasted not just coins, but years of belief, energy, and loyalty on something that now feels uncertain. That kind of disappointment runs deep because it's not just financial, it's personal. People who used to proudly tell others about Pi are now questioning whether they were fooled. And it's not just about money, it's about time, belief, and community. That sense of shared mission is cracking under pressure. Whether Pi can bounce back from this depends not just on price movements or technical rollouts, but on whether it can restore trust and give people a reason to believe again. But here's my honest take on where we are right now. Yes, things look bad. Yes, the charts are ugly. Yes, people are losing hope. But you know what? This is crypto. Nothing is guaranteed, and sometimes the projects that look dead in the water are the ones that surprise everyone. I'm not saying Pi will definitely recover, I'm saying we need to be prepared for whatever comes next. So, what's my advice? Don't panic sell, but also don't blind yourself to reality. Look at the facts, consider your personal situation, and make the decision that's right for you. You know what I'm doing? I'm staying informed, keeping my emotions in check, and preparing for both scenarios: further decline and potential recovery. If this video helped you understand what's really happening with Pi Network, smash that like button. Drop a comment below and let me know what you're thinking about doing with your Pi holdings. And please subscribe and hit that notification bell, because you know what? We're going to get through this together one way or another. I'm not going anywhere, and I'll keep bringing you the real talk, not the hopium. Thanks for trusting me with your time, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll continue tracking this situation as it develops.